Hello, we are watching VNews Broadcast Daily and following today's highlights.
The National Assembly's Standing Committee questions 3 cabinet members on matters under their charge. The United Nations Population Fund will assist a project supporting the Vietnamese Youth Development Strategy. The Consumer Price Index in Ho Chi Minh City increases again in August after 2 consecutive months of decline.
Over 2 days of August 21st and 22nd, the National Assembly's Standing Committee held hearings on matters under the management of the Minister of Labour, War, Intellects and Social Affairs, the Governor of the State Bank and the Government's Inspector General.
On August 21st, Minister of Labour, War, Invalids and Social Affairs Phạm Thị Hải Chuyên was the first cabinet member to appear at the session. The deputy's questions focused on vocational training, especially for rural workers and ethnic minority people. Regarding vocational training and job creation for agricultural and rural areas, the Ministry of Labour, War, Invalids and Social Affairs and other relevant ministries and agencies have implemented a number of related programs. However, the quality failed to meet the market's demand. In the future, besides adjusting the content of vocational training and job creation programs in accordance with the labour market's need, the Ministry will cooperate with the Farmers Association and the Youth League to providing vocational training and offering jobs in rural areas. Several other cabinet members, including Minister of Finance Vương Đình Huệ, Minister of Education and Training Phạm Vũ Luận, and Deputy Minister of Public Security Tô Lâm, joined Minister Chuyên in answering questions on vocational training and the management of foreign workers in Vietnam. In another hearing the same day, Governor of the State Bank of Vietnam Nguyễn Văn Bình was questioned on the settlement of bad debts, measures to facilitate businesses' access to capital, and the implementation of restructuring projects. According to the governor, the country's rate of bad debts, though at a worrying 8.6%, is not life-threatening. He added that credit organizations have contributed 70 trillion Vietnam đồng, or over $3.3 billion to a reserve fund, and some 84% of bad debts have a guaranteed asset. The country's biggest goal now is to restructure its economy to increase its efficiency, focusing on commercial banks. Lowering banks' bad debts to a safe level is a top target of the State Bank of Vietnam. At present, the entire banking system is making efforts to reduce bad debts. However, this depends much on the domestic and international economic situation. Regarding measures to address bad debts, the governor stated that the State Bank of Vietnam has been revising its policies and management to suit the new situation. On August 22nd, Inspector General Huỳnh Phong Chanh answered queries on the reason why his agency conducted many inspections and announced conclusions on many violations, but few cases were transferred to the investigation agency. The main objective of inspections is to pinpoint shortcomings and mistakes in order to help the inspected establishments improve their operation. If any violations of law are found, the case will be passed to the investigation agency. The Inspector General admitted that his agency is still slow in giving out the final conclusion of inspection. He added that related ministries and sectors have yet to show a strong sense of responsibility in implementing the inspection agency's conclusions. The National Assembly's Standing Committee also raised questions on the inspection of wrongdoings in state-owned economic groups and corporations and the role of the Government Inspectorate in dealing with complaints and petitions.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng on August 21st hosted a reception for a delegation from the Royal Thai Army's Defence Force led by General Thanasak Patimaprakonth, Chief of Defence for the Thai Royal Armed Forces.
Prime Minister Dũng said as a neighboring country of Thailand, Vietnam is pleased with the fine development of the friendship and cooperation between the two countries in various fields. In keeping with this trend, the two armies have seen effective cooperation, which contributed to enhancing friendship and cooperation between the two nations. The government leader spoke highly of the results of the talks between Thanasak Patimaprakonth and Senior Lieutenant General Do Ba Tị, Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, saying that the visit will make practical contributions to the bilateral cooperation between the two countries. For his part, General Thanasak Patimaprakonth said his visit aims to strengthen cooperation between the two armies, especially in human resource training and rescue. He affirmed to try his best to boost the ties between the two countries in general and the two armies in particular.
The Prime Minister has approved the outcomes of negotiation on a natural disaster management project, which will use official development assistance capital in loan from the International Development Association (IDA) under the World Bank.
The project, which will have a total budget of $150 million, aims to boosting Vietnam's capacity in preventing, responding to and mitigating natural disasters through structural and non-structural measures. The central provinces of Thanh Hóa, Nghệ An, Hà Tĩnh, Quảng Bình, Quảng Trị, Quảng Nam, Quảng Ngãi, Bình Định, and Ninh Thuận, and Da Nang City will benefit from the project. This scheme is a follow-up to the community-based disaster management project that has been implemented in a number of central provinces since 2005.
The Ministry of Home Affairs and the United Nations Population Fund on August 22nd launched a project supporting the Vietnam's youth development strategy during the period 2011 and 2020.
The project will focus on reproductive and sexual health care and the prevention of HIV and gender-based violence. It will be carried out nationwide from 2012 to 2016 using $900,000 of non-refundable official development assistance from the fund and an additional capital of more than 3 billion Vietnam đồng from the Vietnamese side. Vulnerable groups, including young immigrants, single people, and young people living in remote mountainous areas, will benefit directly from the project. The acting chief representative of the UN Fund in Vietnam, Mandip O'Brien, said the fund will help Vietnam to draw up suitable policies to meet the demands of young people today. The project will be carried out by the National Assembly's Committee for Culture, Education, Youth and Children in cooperation with the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union Central Committee.
The United Nations Children's Fund has assisted the southern province of Ninh Thuận in conducting a research project on the situation of local children. The research results will serve as a source of data, aiding the making of socio-economic development plans in the province.
At the conference in Ninh Thuận Province on April 21st to announce the research outcome, Deputy Minister of Labour, War Invalids and Social Affairs Doãn Mậu Diệp said, the research shows the province endeavors in child-related works. He, however, pointed to some challenges, including a high malnutrition rate among under 5 children and a low percentage of children attending school at all levels. UNICEF Deputy Representative in Vietnam, Jesper Moller, noted that Ninh Thuận Province has exerted a lot of efforts in child development. The province spending on healthcare and education increased 114% from 2005 to 2009. Participants at the conference said they hope similar research projects will be conducted in other localities.
The Consumer Price Index in Ho Chi Minh City increased again in August after 2 consecutive months of decline at 0.66%. This is the highest month-to-month rise since February this year.
Among 11 groups of commodities that are used to calculate the index, The prices of May rose against last month. The highest price rise of 3.56% was reported for the group of culture, sport, entertainment, commodities and services. Repeated highs in petrol price in August have pushed the cost of transport up by 1.17%. The soaring price of fuel also resulted in a 2.17% increase in the price of housing and construction materials.
And this is the end of our news today. Thanks for joining us and see you next time.